Hey guys, it's Jay with Elevation Spine. I'm here again with Hannah. So, one thing that we want to talk about today while we're filming is the psoas muscle, right? The hip flexor muscle. This is a really important muscle in terms of low back health, low back pain. And the reason for that is it's a really interesting muscle. It attaches and helps basically flex your hips up, right? But it attaches really high in the spine. You can basically see as the thoracic vertebra turn into the lumbar vertebra, that's right where the psoas starts. And a lot of people have back pain and they don't understand necessarily that the psoas could be a major contributor to that. And you can see that if it's pulling forward and it's getting really tight, it'll pull your spine into what we call excess lordosis, right? An increase in that low back arch. That's not good, right? That plays into something called lower cross syndrome, where the musculature isn't balanced between itself, right? The psoas are overpowering the abs, the glutes aren't doing enough to balance that, right? So we're gonna show you a couple stretches today that can help combat some of that pain. So Hannah, I'm gonna have you go into a regular kind of hip flexor lunge here. So what we'll notice when we see a lot of people do this is they stretch really far forward, and that's great, especially for the lower portion of the hip flexor. What I'm gonna have Hannah do is I'm gonna have her back up a little bit, just kind of get neutral, and I want you to posteriorly rotate your pelvis. So she's gonna kind of tuck her tailbone under, and by doing that, you're actually loading the hip flexor a bit more, right? You're pulling the pelvis into a rotation that's gonna tug on the hip flexor. If you really scoot your I just want you to rotate under. Good, there you go. Do you feel that pulling quite a bit? Now that actually increases the stretch, especially on the upper component of the psoas, and that's the portion that tugs on the spine, right? If that's too easy, Hannah can reach back with her left hand and grab her foot, whatever pose that is, yep. And now by maintaining that position, I want you to tuck your stomach in a little more. Going straight up, good. Now by holding that, you're actually applying a lot more load to the quads, but they play a big role in hip flexor health as well. So by doing these 3 stretches and building up to what Hannah's doing now, you can really help alleviate some of the pressure pulling that spine forward. And if that's not, I guess, more difficult or difficult enough, I'm gonna have Hannah, can you go into a pigeon position like this? So put your front leg in front. I'm gonna have Hannah do basically the exact same thing. I'm gonna have her reach back, grab her leg, and then in this position, I'm gonna have her posteriorly rotate her pelvis again. Now this position's really tough to do that in. This is if you're really flexible. Again, Hannah's personal trainer, she spends a lot of time stretching. This is a tough position to hold, right? But it's gonna apply a big stretch to that psoas muscle. And ideally, we're gonna take some pressure off the low back. So I hope you guys found that useful. Thanks for doing the video, Hannah, and we'll see you next time.